Well, the Johannesburg City Council is embroiled in a political tug-of-war. The ANC and some of the smaller parties want the Speaker of Johannesburg, Mpho Phalatse, removed, but she is confident she'll be able to survive any motion of no confidence. Let's speak to the Mayor now. A very good afternoon to you, ma'am. I believe you're joining us by phone. So I would imagine then, based on what you've been saying, that you've not even started clearing your office, possibly.
I'm not about to start clearing my office. I'm actually so focused on work. So, no, clearing my office is not on the cards. And there's a lot to be done. We've got a budget that kicked in on the 1st of July that we must implement. And we must make sure implementation happens and that we deliver on our promise to our residents.
But what's going to be done to ensure, as we're just listening now to Cope saying it's quite concerned about the party's own member, who's basically, according to the party, gone rogue? Yes, your multi-party coalition partners are in support of you staying, but there may very well be a repeat of what happened last week where Vasco da Gama was removed regardless because of some elements going rogue.
Well, the parties in the coalition are dealing with rogue elements. So various parties have already expelled members who were implicated in what happened last week. Those that have not yet done it are in the process of doing it. We should know in a few days how far we are. I do know that 3 parties already have submitted expulsion notices and that their councillors are no longer councillors and therefore cannot serve in the Johannesburg Council. So the idea is that all the parties in the coalition do the same and that we restore numbers to the coalition so we can continue the work of rebuilding the city.
There are the allegations of bribery, people being bribed to vote against the Speaker last week, allegedly. There's been, I understand this matter has now been reported to police. You were there, in fact, earlier this week. Beyond people saying they were offered bribes, what proof do you actually have of certain individuals who wanted the Speaker removed proposing a bribe?
Well, we've got affidavits from councillors who were approached by the opposition, offered bribes, and they declined. And those are the people who are willing to come forward and tell us what the game plan was. Those are the affidavits that were used to open the cases. I, unfortunately, was not there in person, but yes, some leaders of various political parties at the local level were there. I know that our dear provincial leader, Salim Simanga, was there as well, and they've opened a case, and hopefully we'll see justice being served.
Am I right to say, though, at this point, it would be basically, in testing it, their word in these affidavits versus the word of those who are alleged to have offered the bribes?
Not necessarily. I do believe that there are some people who have admitted to bribery. I'm not at liberty to go into a lot of detail, as I already said. The matter is under investigation, but I do believe there's sufficient evidence, and there could even be witness reports where bribes were actually received.
There have been reports, though, of some of the people, or at least one from the ACDP, correct me if I'm wrong, passing a lie detector test.
Well, you know what, I'm not really involved in what's happening at a party level. So remember, the coalition is a coalition of political parties. Political parties deal with their members according to their constitution, and we don't interfere in that space. We only have one mandate, and the mandate is parties must hold their members to account. And how they do that is up to the parties involved. We're just waiting for them to tell us when they've dismissed those people and when they will be replacing them with people that we can trust and continue building with.
Let's say nothing turns on the bribery allegations. What then becomes of your standing as mayor? Do you simply wait to see if you can survive? If you survive the first, you'll survive the second, the third, and possibly a fourth motion of no confidence. There feels as though there needs to be a broader strategy, a long-term strategy from your part and the part of your multi-party coalition partners. Do you agree?
Yes, of course. There is a long-term strategy. But, I mean, this is not reliant on the bribery allegations. You know, as I've already said, there are parties that have already dismissed their constituents. A good example is Action SA, who says, well, somebody went missing, did not attend the counting, and their story just does not add up, and they've not been able to provide proof of where they claim that they were. And on those grounds, they were able to dismiss that particular individual. So it's not only reliant on the bribery charges sticking. It's really looking at broader issues around people's absence from council without reason, and people not towing the party line. Because when you go into a council meeting, the party will give you a mandate, and it is expected of you to stick by your party mandate, and people don't do that, then parties have a right to discipline their members according to their constitution.
You've answered this question multiple times in the last few weeks, and that's the question of whether you have been actively involved in concealing alleged crimes, including fraud, committed in the city of Johannesburg. As things stand here today, are you confident that your reputation would withstand any form of scrutiny at that level, criminal or otherwise?
I've not withheld any information. Yes, you're right. I've spoken at length about it. I was accused of concealing information with regards to the General Shadrack Sibiya matter. It is untrue. I've held a media briefing to give the media all information of what actually transpired. Where that case is concerned, I wrote to the State Security Agency in April already. I invited them to the city to come and investigate. They have done so. They've given me their outcome, and they have cleared General Shadrack Sibiya of the allegations against him. There's nothing that has been concealed. I mean, there's really no reason to table a motion. Of course, people will start fabricating things that actually don't exist.
Right. Thank you very much, Joburg Mayor Mpho Phalatse. Good to speak to you, ma'am.